In a dark, hidden corner of history, there exists a chilling tale, one that remains shrouded in mystery. It is the story of the Trump assassin, a figure whose very name stirs dread in those who whisper it in shadowed rooms. No one knows exactly where they came from or what drove them to act, but their presence is like a storm waiting to break. The first reports of the Trump assassin came during a year marked by unrest and division. Amidst the chaos of political factions and public unrest, rumors began circulating about a lone figure, a shadowy agent working in the background, someone with a singular, chilling goal. Whispers spoke of a man who had suffered grievous personal losses at the hands of those in power, a man so consumed by vengeance that he had turned himself into something less than human. He was no longer bound by the rules of society, but by his thirst for retribution. Born into a poor family in the rural South, the Trump assassin had grown up with nothing but his wits and a sharp, burning resentment for the political elites he believed had ruined his life. He watched, helpless, as his town was consumed by the rise of corrupt power, with families like his being overlooked, forgotten, and crushed by the weight of the system. His obsession with revenge began with small acts of resistance, anonymous letters, whispered threats, but it soon grew more violent. The world, as he saw it, was one of predation and survival, and he would become its apex predator. The turning point came when he lost everything in a tragic and unjust way. A personal scandal, tied to a scandalous connection with a high-ranking political figure, one of the very elites he loathed, led to the collapse of his life. His wife was taken from him under mysterious circumstances, and his child was left broken in a world that no longer cared. It was in the aftermath of this tragedy that the Trump assassin was born. Rumor has it he became obsessed with the idea of revenge, but not the simple kind. He didn't just want to kill his enemies. He wanted to destroy everything they represented. His plans were intricate, cold, and precise. He began to follow the most powerful figures, studying their habits, their vulnerabilities. The assassin learned everything about their lives, their fears, their weaknesses. His methods were silent, his movements invisible, a shadow in the background, barely perceptible until it was too late. At some point, the assassin's actions were linked to several unsolved political killings. Each death seemed to fit a pattern. Someone who had been involved in the rise of power that crushed his family. Someone whose wealth had come from the suffering of others. Some believed these deaths were the result of an organized group, but a few whispered that it was just one man, a man consumed by rage. The tale of the Trump assassin began to seep into public consciousness. It was no longer just a rumor. His actions, however brutal, had struck a chord with those who had suffered in silence, who felt betrayed by the very system they had worked to build. He became a symbol, and for a time people wondered if he might bring about the reckoning they all felt was overdue. But then, one day the assassin disappeared. There were no more deaths, no more whispers. The terror he once invoked faded into the background of history, like a storm that passed without warning, leaving only a trail of broken lives in its wake. Some say he is still out there, hiding in the shadows, waiting for the next generation of corruption to rise. Others believe he was caught and disappeared, a victim of the very forces he sought to destroy. Yet deep in the dark corners of society, there are those who still fear the name of the Trump assassin and the possibility that he will return when the time is right. For in the end, vengeance, like darkness, never truly dies.